Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhatarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gokaro Anthakaro Vai Drukarastan Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavityam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. So, we are in the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, in the second chapter, second section, fifth verse. Before entering into the fifth verse, we will try to see the gist of the meaning in the gist way of the last verse, the fourth. I will read and I will give you the meaning, and we will go to the fifth verse today. This was the verse. Asya Visram Samanasya Sharirasya Dehinaha Dehadi Vimuchamanasya Kimatra Parishishyade Etat Vaitat. The meaning is like this. Human body is inert. It can't work independently. It need the satta. It should take the sentience by the presence of the consciousness. So the body can work only when the consciousness reflects in the body. So here, Lord Death points out to Nachiketas, when the body is incapable in the period of time to reflect the consciousness, even though the consciousness is pervading from the tip to toe, but the body will fail to reflect the consciousness due to the defects of the body. On that time, people used to say, she is no more, he is no more. So Lord Death points out that body can only be active by the presence or the existence of the consciousness. Without the support, without depending on the consciousness, body cannot do any actions in this world. Being the body being a device, it can only operate when the operator being there. That operator is called Brahman. One need to know the Brahman in a full-fledged way, not in a casual way. Etat Vaitat. Indeed, that is the center, who is the Lord of the universe, who is also the Lord of this body. Dehin, Dehi. This is the simple way of presenting the honor of the body, who is the all-pervading consciousness. This is the simple way of understanding the meaning according to the way what Shankara wants to convey. Now I will go to the fifth verse. Connected, completely connected with this fourth verse. I will read the fifth verse and I will give you the meaning. Na pranena na apanena martyaha jivati kaschana itarena tu jivanti yasmin etau upashritau. Once more I will read. Na pranena na apanena martyaha jivati kaschana itarena tu jivanti yasmin etau upashritau. Before we entering into the verse, we need certain background. The body is a device, an instrument, an assemblage. Just like a wall clock or a car. In Shankara's word, Ratham, a chariot. Also, Kaṭha Upaniṣad also already given the same example. Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi. So, Shariram Rathamevacha. Okay. So, for the time being, we will take the modern examples like wall clock, car, anything. Body is a device, like a wall clock or a car. A device, a system will serve a purpose. And a scheme of things intelligently put together in a device. In Pujya Swami Dayananda's words, a scheme of things intelligently put together for the purpose of somebody other than this assemblage. I will give you once more this statement. A scheme of things intelligently put together in order to serve a purpose for somebody who is other than this assemblage. Shankara says in Kaṭha Upaniṣad Bhashya, Samhidanam pararthatvat. Any assemblage, any device, any system is meant for somebody other than the system. Very beautiful logic. Samhidanam pararthatvat. So whenever you see an assemblage, we need to confirm three factors from an assemblage. Any device should give these three factors to us. One, there is a person who is intelligent behind this assemblage. Without a person who is intelligent, there is no assembly at all. That itself is a big logic. And this assembly is for the sake of this person who assembled this. Second factor is, any assemblage is inert, insentient. It doesn't have an independent reality. It can only sentient because of the operator or the owner of the assembly. So the first factor is, from an assembly, one should grasp that there should be somebody to assemble this, to put a scheme of things intelligently together. There should be somebody behind that. From any assembly, we need to grasp, this is called one step forward in thinking, further thinking other than what you see in front of you. So any assembly should reveal you these three factors. There should be somebody behind this assemblage who have the capacity to arrange them in an order. The second factor, please note that it's very important. Few Upanishads says properly this. One is Kaṭha Upaniṣad. Second, mildly, Kaṭha Upaniṣad also will talk about this. Of course, Chandogya also. We are going to see step by step. Very important words. Before that, we need to know certain factors regarding this verse. So there is a person to assemble this device. Second factor is, any assembled device, whether it is a rocket, whether it is a train, whether it is a car, whether it is a wall clock, whether it is a timepiece, it is inert. I am just now taking the examples from the external world. I'm not touching the creation created by the Lord. I'm only taking the examples from the man-made creations. An assembler is there. It is inert. And the third and another factor, wherever there is an assembly, there is a science, there is a study. That is why we have Vaidya Shastra. an anatomy, an astrological science, a science behind plants, biology, behind a study which will lead us more and more deep towards the animal world, zoology. Ornithology. Because there is an order. There is an assembly. That is why there is a study. When a group of things are dumped and it is a heap, there is no study at all. Because it's just a dump. It is a group of things which are dumped in a place. There is no study. But when there is an arrangement, when there is an assembly, there is a study. It's very important. So, any assembly should reveal three factors to a human being who can think behind the nose. Why I am repeating, this is very crucial in Vedanta also. That itself, these three factors are enough to prove there is a person behind the creation. One is, in order to put intelligently together a scheme of things, there should be a person who is intellectual, who is having an intellectual capacity. A watch repairer should have an idea about this watch, which a wristwatch, which we will keep in our hand. A car mechanic should have an idea about the car, what he repairs. A doctor should have an idea about the ear, assembly of the ear. Then only he can find out what's the problem. So, in any assembly, there is a person behind the assembly. We infer this. Anuman, inference. Without a person's intellectual capacity, without an intelligent being, there is no assembly of anything in the world possible. Second is, anything intelligently put together and it become a device, an assemblage, always it is inert. Jada vastu eva. There is no sentient itself. They are not sentient by itself. Third thing, wherever there is an assembly, where there is an assembly, a group of things intelligently put together, there is a science to study and understand. That is why each and every science reveal the order, the assembly of the things. Any science is possible when there is an order or an assembly in this world. Without that, there is no study. Now come to our body. Keeping these factors inside in our mind, may we analyze our anatomy of our body. It's an assembly, a scheme of things intelligently put together. Lungs heart, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, fingers, hair, toes, legs, knees, a beautiful arrangement. 206 bones, certain number of nerves, and everybody work in a systematic way in order to survive. A group of things intelligently put together. Who intelligently put together? In order to have an assemblage, there should be a person who can work behind that. This is our logic. A tree is an assemblage. A fruit is an assembly. Now I am dealing with the creation. First, I gave you the examples from the modern world, which are man-made. Now, I draw your attention towards the creation. Any part from the creation, if you analyze properly, if you have a proper mind to analyze, take a leaf of a plant, just a leaf of a plant, and analyze it. How it is completely arranged and maintained its way of living. There are small nervous system. There is a color. There is small nerves, little bit big nerves, fiber is there. Everything is an assembly in a single leaf. Like that, a tree. Go on to a sea creature, a fish, a turtle. It's an assembly. The entire creation is an assembly. And there is an order. Earth should have a rotation and a revolution. It goes itself 24 hours. In 24 hours, it goes around the sun in 365.25 days. All are under an order. Niyamakena niyamam. There should be a person to pass the order, and all others will follow the order. So, from the creation, we grasp through inference, there is a person behind the creation because there is an order in the creation. A creation itself is an assembly. That is why we call the world prapancham. 5 elements comes together in a systematic way. Panchikarana prakriyaya. Idam jagatam jagat srishtam. Pancha means 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. They come together. That's why prapancham. Panchikarana. They themselves mix in a proper way in order to make different things in this world. Each and everything in the world is nothing but composed of 5 elements. These 5 elements are intelligently put together to form an elephant, to form a human being, to form a bird, to form a house, to form a rock, to form ocean. Even though predominantly ocean is water, all other 4 elements also there in this water. That is why the entire picture is called Prapancham. Prakarshena, Panchikaranam, Akurvan. After doing this mixture of 5 elements in an appropriate way, the whole Jagat came in here in this way. Now the point is, who put them intelligently? There should be somebody. When you know how to make a pot with your mind, with your hand, and with your instruments, in order to plan how much size, how much length, how much large, mind is needed. You plan first. I want to make a pot. The plan is here in the mind or in the intellect. You plan everything, a pot. Now you execute your plan through your hands. I mean through your work. Then you need to mix the clay and you need to bind with water. A compost is made of, and with certain instruments, you mold it. You make it into a shape. Life become proper with a shape. A pot is right now, right in front of you, due to your intellect, through your work, and with the instruments. Instruments are involved before the clay, after the clay, after the pot also. Because while making the pot also, instruments are needed. Before making the pot also, you need certain instruments. Just as wheel, stick, even the argumentators say, even a donkey is involved in making a pot, because donkey should carry the clay from a place to the pot maker's house. So everything will become an instrument in making a pot from clay. So a pot maker has an idea how to make a pot. He is enough capable to think with the mind. He is capable to execute what plan he was having in the mind, and he can use appropriate instruments in making one pot. So, Gatakarta Gatajna. When you have total idea about how to make a pot, you are a pot maker, Gatajna. Suppose if we have the idea how to make a piece of clothes with all the process of cotton into a thread and otha protein by parallelly, horizontally, vertically, they are together in order to make a desired cloth. So, Patakarta Patajnaha, a cloth weaver who has total idea about to make a cloth. So, from that we jump to a big logic. Sarvakarta Sarvajnaha. Once an intellect have the capacity to create everything, that person is called all-knowing entity. Sarvajnaha. A pot maker is a small person who know how to make pot only. Or a cloth maker, cloth weaver, have only the idea how to weave a cloth. From there, when we look upon the creation, each and everything is well maintained, well created, and well well placed properly in the right place. Thus, we come to know a person who can create everything is called all-knowing entity, Sarvajnaha, Almighty. He is. Because in order to make the creation alive, what is in your mind, to execute your plan, you need certain energy. You need certain capacity to execute the plan. That is why Sarvajnaha and also Almighty. He can do everything alone. Sarvashaktaha, Sarvajnaha. He have enough capacity to execute the plan. Sarvajnaha. Sarvam Karta, Sarvajnaha. So this Sarvajna, the all-knowing entity who have the power to create the entire world, is the operator of this entire system. People can deny, when I don't see the Lord, I don't believe the Lord. Non-believers of God, no problem. We may fail to acknowledge them, this logic, because Vidwan eva vijanadi vityujjana parishramam. Another intelligent person can only grasp what you have in the form of logic. It is insufficient. You are capable of understanding the logic and you want to put in somebody's mind, but he is not enough capable of grasping the logic. Then it's a big failure. This in mind, the preparation of the second person is not proper, so that you can explain 5 or 6 or 100 times, still the person remain ignorant about what you say. So Vidwaneva, another intelligent person can only grasp the intellectual knowledge from an intelligent person. So people can be non-believers of God. This one logic is enough. Behind the creation, there is a creator, Srishtikarta. Another dispute will arise because how many creators are there behind the creation? That we will answer in coming verses. First of all, we are creating a background to understand this descriptive. What is right now Lord Death told. So we are in a point that the whole entire Jagat, the whole world is a device. It's a creation because it is intelligently put together. That is why there is an order. A person to order ordained already. There is a rule for everything. A mango tree will only yield mangoes, not jackfruit. This is a rule. A jackfruit tree can only yield jackfruit, not the apples. Apple tree can only yield apple, not grapes. Similarly, gravitational force will only work from upside down. It will fall. Not due to gravitational force, something will go upwards. This is a rule. Earth should move itself one round in 24 hours. It's a rule. It should go around the sun in 365.25 days. So, if you look at the solar system, if you look at your body, if you look at any living beings or any natural scene, picture right in front of you, you see a certain order is there. Wherever there is an order, there is somebody to maintain that order. Like when there is a king in a kingdom, each and every person in that kingdom will follow certain rules of the kingdom. A person who is working in a stable will take care of the horses without the presence of the king, even though the king is sitting in the throne. The cook who is working in the palace will also get engaged with his own duties in spite of the king's presence in the kitchen. Everybody will follow their duties because the king is sitting in the throne. And the king's order is the final word for everybody. They work in their own respective field due to the presence of the king. Very important that the entire creation is working for the social, economical welfare and also ecological welfare. The whole order is due to the presence of somebody to order. So our body is going through certain operations, certain missions, certain works. There is a big system working from head to toe. The entire system is working because there is an order behind that. There is somebody to order behind that. Without the order, body cannot work at all. Eyes can only see what is right in front of you. It cannot smell. Nose is used to see the things through smell and fragrance. Ears can listen the voice and sound. It cannot smell. Tongue will go to respective things and understand the taste. And also it has another duty to talk properly, communicating properly. So each and every organ get involved in their respective fields, mentally and physically. In the mental plane also, in the physical plane also, there is an order. Our heart beats. There is a number for the doctors because it's a science. Why it became a science? There is an order. Wherever there is an order, there is a study and it is called science. Our lungs, our intestine, our eyes, our ears, everything can become a matter for science. Because there being an order. So, in order to command, there should be a person who is sitting like a king. This is been confirmed in Taittiriya Upanishad. There is another Upanishad like this, Kaṭha Upaniṣad. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is told in the second chapter, Brahmanandavalli starts with a striking statement, Brahmavit apnoti param tatesha bhyukta Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma Yo Veta Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman So Oshnute Sarvahan Kaman Saha. Then it continues. Tasmat va etasmat atmana akasha sambhutah akashat vayuh vayoragnihi agnirapah advyah prithvi prithivya oshadayah oshadhibhyo annam annat purushah. It continues. The first verse of Brahmanandavalli says that from this self, Atman, everything came outside as a creation. First, the five elements. From the elements, they combine together in a method, Panchikarana Prakriya. After that, from that, Oshadhihi, the herbs and plants, Oshadibhyo Annam. What is proper to eat? Annam. Annat Purushaha. This Purusha, the life form, came. So, descendants from the Atma, then the five elements, and the five elements again and again to the Purusha, the life form. So, there is a methodology in superimposition. It is not a mere superimposition, it's a proper arranged superimposition. The self, the Brahman, the Atma is superimposed in different life forms. It can be fire, it can be water, it can be in the form of space, it can be in the form of earth. Nothing but superimposed form, an apparent reality on the eternal entity. Thus, each and everything in this creation is following an order. Now come to the meaning of this verse. This is enough as a background. There is an order in this body. Each and every life form in this world follows an order. So this life form, what we call the body, a system, an assemblage, a device to interact with the world and people, can only be active because of the presence of the vital force, what we called air. Inhale and exhale. This is the first thing to be done by a body in order to perform any operations or any interactions in the world. First of all, the body should be alive. We confirm the body is alive through the presence of the air. Inhale, exhale. Through that, we confirm a body is alive. That is why doctors, when an accident case is brought into a hospital, a group of doctors will run first towards that accidental case. Then, first they will try to maintain this vital force in the body. Due to the discharge of blood, due to the trauma situation, the vital force will be slowly giving up this device because it is not capable of taking the vital force inside and putting down. That is why with the external equipments like gas, oxygen cylinder, mask, etc., our doctors used to give an artificial breath for this accident case. They try to give even more devices like ventilator, etc., because the first thing to be done is keep the body alive. Then only repair is possible. So vital force will play the first role in our body. In order to have an interaction, in order to have a patch or a repair inside this body, the body should be alive. A body can be only alive through the vital force presence. The air should be the first factor which should be there inside our body. That is why Namaste Vayu Tumeva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. What a beautiful prayer. Oh Lord, who is in the form of vital force air, you are indeed the form, that all-pervasive consciousness. You are indeed this all-pervasive consciousness. Such a beautiful prayer. Namaste Vayu Tumeva Pratyaksham, visible Lord. This vital force, who is in the form of air, is the visible Lord for me. Because my body can do anything in this world. Before everything, the presence of this vital force, what we call pranaha, should be there in our body. Without the presence of this vital force, we cannot get engaged in anything in the world. So that is why in a trauma case or an accidental case or serious issues related to body, they first put the oxygen cylinder in there, right in the nose, and artificial breathing. They pump the oxygen to the nose, so that first we have to make sure that our body is alive due to the presence of the prana. Prana plays a crucial role in survival of the human body. We all know that. But more important, the significance of the prana, Lord Death says now. We are right now not in the meaning of the descriptive. We are on the way. So, prana is the key element which keeps the body alive. So, input, at the same time, it is very important, output, throwing the waste. There also, inside the body, in the form of apana, the air will take another role called apana. Both will help us to take the vital force inside, and will take another role when it gets inside the body, what we call apana, who will make us to clear the waste inside the body. Thus, we maintain our body. When the input and the output is clear, we say it is a healthy body. When the food is getting digested, when the energy level is almost same in the daytime, when the body is doing its normal way of throwing the waste outside, we say that it is a healthy body. Ado Gamanava, Apana, who work down below to urinate through the exertions, all waste, etc., etc. Apana. Prana will divide into 5 different forms. I already mentioned in the last class. So, one who leads the vital force inside and become into 5, that primary the force is called prana. Prana is the key element which keep the body alive. Without that, we cannot survive even for a minute. That's why when we go inside the water, we come immediately upward towards the water. If not, we will drown in the water without having the air. We don't have the capacity to take the oxygen which is dissolved in the water. We are supposed to live in the land. We are not animals who live inside the water. Like a python can stay inside the water for an hour. A turtle can stay almost 3 hours inside the water. A frog can live inside the water for 30 minutes without having any issues to the body. There are even fishes who can survive like a polar bear hibernating, hibernation. They used to go through hibernate while the winter is going on. They just sleep and the body will slow down the metamorphosis, and completely for 6 months they are just sleeping. Similarly, some fishes can survive in this world below the water or in the mud for years, 5, 6, 8 years without taking oxygen or without taking food. If we come to know the special features of the creatures in the world, we feel inferior compared to them. Anyway, fine. So prana is the crucial role of the body, which play a crucial role in the body. So Lord Death says that completely against prana and apana. What the Lord says, na pranena na apanena martyaha jivati kaschana. The first line of the verse. Not by the prana or not by the apana. Prana and apana are different forms of our vital force, but Lord Death says that not due to the presence of prana or apana a life form survive, because they are also the part of assemblage, because they also fall under the creation. They are inside the creation. A vital force is also obeying the rule of the commander. Without a rule, they cannot go inside the body. They cannot become vyapana shilam. They cannot be all getting perverse everywhere. The vital force is everywhere on the top of the earth for a length up towards the sky. So here it is told, Lord Death clearly state that The vital force is not the cause of human body's survival. It's true because Bishasmat Vataf Pavate. Taittiriya Upanishad is the Pramana. Vataha, the vital force, do its engage in its duties, like going inside a body, giving certain state for the water, state for the space. There are certain roles to play for the air. Out of fear, out of the command of the all-pervading entity, the air also get engaged in its job. Bisha, out of fear, out of the command of this all-pervading entity, the vital force also get engaged. That one single sentence is enough, that vital force is not the cause for the survival of the human body. Na pranena, na apanena, martyaha, a life form, a jivaha, jivati kaschana. Never, never due to the presence of this vital force, the life forms continues to survive. But whom? By whom? Itarena. Because of this all-pervading entity's presence in the body is capable to inhale and exhale, not out of the prana. Some rishis, some sages used to suspend their inhale and exhale for a length of time because of the practice of pranayama. There are people who can keep the air in kumbhagam, a position where there is no movement of the air inside and outside. There are sages like that. It's due to their practice. So here, Lord Death reveals the real fact. Body is not surviving due to the presence of the vital force, what we called air or breathing. Indeed, due to the presence of this Atman, the self, the all-pervading entity, which is the truth of the entire universe, which is the substratum of this entire universe. Because of that, the entire creation and also entire life form survive. Because this all-pervading entity is not a part of this assembly. He is the assembler. The operator is always different from the device. System can only operate by the presence of the operator, by the command of the operator. You need to put the switch before the laptop operates. Because a person is there behind in the form of an operator, the device operates. Similarly, there is a creator, there is a person's presence in the body. Because of him only, this entire system, what we call body, can go through different works. Yasmin, unto which in this sentient entity, the insentient vital force, what we call prana, it is also jadam, it is also inert, it is also a part of creation. Like these small wheels are the part of a wall clock. Similarly, this vital force is also a small wheel of the creation. It is inert. The vital force is also inert because it will be also fall under as a part of this assemblage. But the assembler who is different, who is dissimilar, who is apart from this, who is separate from this assembly, is the cause for the operation of the body, not the vital force for the cause. We cannot give the name cause for the vital force, because vital force is a part of assembly. One who is away, one who is separate from the assembly, who is the operator, who is the all-pervading Brahman, who is the substratum of this creation, is the cause of our body's sentience. Because of his presence, the body can operate, body can interact, body can perform its activities daily. This secret is revealed by Lord Death to Nachiketas. And continuing one of the beautiful section of Kaṭha Upaniṣad in coming verses. We will see more meaning of this. This meaning is this verse is completely explained right now with its background. Now, still I will give you some information and we will go to the next verse in the next class. We will wind up. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kali Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Suginaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Namah Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnat Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.